Brian, Joel, it's been 3 years. Where have you guys been?
Man.
To the moon and back.
Yeah, I feel like, well, it hasn't been the
Here's slide your mic over in front of you a little bit. There you go.
I don't know. It's just been a lot of field work, a lot of building,
Wheeling and dealing,
wheeling and dealing.
changing oil and spark plugs,
Yeah.
sweating.
What have you been doing though, dude?
So yeah, I mean, we're in the off-grid Bitcoin mining space, so sourcing gas deals.
So last time we talked, to level set for anybody who doesn't, everybody knows you who's listening to the show, but if they don't know you, you guys had at least, I think it was 1 or 2 sites 3 years ago off grid. One was right next to my house. I'm gonna have to go see it.
Yep.
You're
That was
still
my
there?
Yep.
No.
that was my son's only exposure to off-grid Bitcoin mining, and so that was a very pivotal moment for him because he was like, "This is how you turn into Bitcoin," and then Bitcoin to Lamborghinis. And so he was,
That's it. That's the
he was all about it. He's still
Basically a
talking about it.
Lamborghini
Yeah.
factory.
Yeah, it really
Yeah,
is.
Yeah.
right.
Just
Yeah.
spitting out Lambos.
That's the
Nothing
flow
but-
chart.
Yeah.
Right there.
Flare
Going to
gas to
Lambo.
Bitcoin to
Right.
Lambos.
Right.
Natural gas,
Yeah.
electron, Bitcoin,
Bitcoin Lambo.
Lambo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For a
How it
7-year-old, that's all you have to
Yeah.
tell.
And the Lambo is a bull.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's. I think there's Illuminati probably in there too.
Yeah,
It's
somewhere.
possible.
That's he's got to be 9 before you get to that.
Yeah. You can't even do
Yeah,
it quite.
yeah,
Oh, no, maybe.
yeah. Now
Yeah.
it's probably
Yeah.
right for that.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, we started kind of bootstrapped our own thing, just learning the ropes in Bitcoin mining, and then we started raising money with third parties who wanted to do off grid Bitcoin mining. So we would find gas deals, we'd buy equipment, do all procurement, commissioning, and then we'd operate it for a management fee. And I mean, the growth in that is, I don't know, very linear type stuff, but you get to know good people in the space, and we got develop some really good relationships with operators who, understand the model, which, I mean, that's a battle in itself, but you hook in with some of those people and then, you start finding more deals. And it was always like the 1 to 2 megawatt type size. Very hard to find a 5 megawatt stranded gas asset, but we would just buy different equipment. So we've run upstream datas, we've run cats, the hydros with heat core, just out there, do it all, get good relationships with the service providers that you need. And we were doing that until, well, we still do it.
Yeah.
So
Until now.
And,
So
Yeah.
is the business pivoting, or is it just an evolution of what you guys have been doing?
I would say both.
Yeah.
So bringing on some new investors directly into the company instead of managing stuff for other people. So I think that's part of the pivot is if there's too many cooks in the kitchen,
Right.
it can it gets crowded, right? And
food gets burned.
even if like your ships are pretty aligned after, like, if you're off 3 degrees after a while, it starts to get a little
100%,
yeah, a little different. So and just the nature of off-grid mining, I think when you run the spreadsheet economics of it, you're like, oh well, I can afford to buy not the best miners. But then you start to learn what we've learned over time, that we try to preach to our customers at this point, is like, you have to be careful what your choice is here, because like that's kind of like, that's a big capital allocation, and 6 months from now you can't unwind that and like get that capital back and get something better. And so I think people see, or my experience has been, people see the like, oh well, like $5 per T, let me plug that in my spreadsheet, but you're not counting like, okay, and I have a 7-day DOA or something stupid small like that. Like, you're not counting all the machines that are going to break in the next 6 months because they were treated so, like, you're not getting the best of the racks from people at these prices.
Well, that's a good. So, what's your thesis on that? Because I like some of these low, like cheap machine kind of deals. If you own your gen sets and you got to run like a very cheap
I think
GPA or something.
I think for grid guys, it makes a lot more sense than off grid, because your price per kilowatt hour on grid is all on the meter. So if a miner breaks, you don't really care.
Right.
And I mean, you care because the
Yeah.
line is
Right.
broken, but your price per kilowatt hour off grid
Mm,
is all based on utilization.
Yeah, it's basically
So if you have 10% of your fleet down, your price per kilowatt
it was going
hour
up.
actually went up.
That's a good point.
And
yeah.
so
You're actually you're constrained by like your rack space is
Right.
utilization is actually what you're looking at. Like
Mhm.
if you have a 96 slots, like your power price doesn't go down when one goes down because you're consuming less energy.
Right.
It goes up. Your actually
Everything
goes
goes
up.
up.
the power price,
Right.
it gets
Yeah.
distributed to the rest of them because your power price, I mean, you might use marginless gas, but that's not the heavy input price. Like the gas is minuscule compared to your maintenance cost.
Right.
So that's really what you're paying.
Yeah, your PM schedule is not going to change on your
Mhm.
generator.
Yeah.
It's going to stay the same.
Yeah.
So kind of like what he was talking about is like if you go and to say you bought M30Ss plus
Mhm.
pluses or something like that in 6 months. And here's the other thing: when your hatch price goes down, those things are now very marginal,
Mhm.
and you have to. The market forces you to upgrade faster, sooner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So instead, you could have, and you might pay another $6 for
Mm.
M50s, $6 a
Right.
T for M50s. You should
Then
have
you-
just bought M50s to begin with.
It's on a treadmill.
Yeah.
Is,
Yeah.
is
Those are good points. I
Yeah.
haven't really thought about it like that, but that's a good point. Because now some of these I've been looking at like wind, so it is generation,
Yeah.
consumption based.
wins
So
for the birds.
dude, some of
Birdsie.
these are free. You can get them so cheap.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. No, I think for that,
Yeah.
like for sure, like if you're paying on a
Mm.
meter, and you're not
Right.
responsible for that generation, like
Yeah.
going with
Yeah.
the S19Ks, like sure, dude,
Yeah.
load it up, man.
Yeah.
You're basically getting miners for free.
Right.
And the
Um,
ROIs are like 6 months,
Yeah.
right?
it's
Like
crazy.
that's the attractive part.
Right.
You can ROI your money on your investment really quick.
Right.
If
Right.
you,
Yeah.
if you have it.
Yeah.
But if you're paying the maintenance bills on that generator, you really got to look at full life cycle.
Right. Yeah, those are good points. And probably where your money came from. Because like if you're bootstrapping, I think you can take a little bit more risk and kind of the time frame. But if you're taking other people's money
Yeah.
and promising short ROIs, yeah, that's
What
Yeah.
other
risky.
what other key takeaways have you guys learned over the past few years? And then I want to get into what you guys are doing now. But
Yeah. I mean, I would say key takeaways is not all gas is equal. I mean, that's
very
very
true.
obvious, right?
Yeah.
But there's other things, not just methane content. Like we had a scenario.
that's something that coming from oil and gas, I think we know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
You know that. Yeah.
I've been
Right.
presented a lot of deals with people who don't know that, right? And
Yeah.
then there's kind of a checklist to go through from the very beginning, and they'd be like, "Oh, like I just thought it was gas is gas is gas,"
Yeah.
and it's not.
Yeah.
It is.
No.
It's
Well, yeah,
definitely-
and if you come in with a 25% D rate and you're running subpar miners, like that might be all your profit.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right? Because again, same thing. If it doesn't matter why your rack utilization is low. Like if it's low because you have a D rate, or if it's low because your miner's broke. If it's low because of both, then you're really screwed. But that power price is getting distributed to whatever, or the total OpEx is getting distributed to whatever you have on the rack, not it's not a meter.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Another one would be like geographic location in terms of like Texas is huge,
Yeah.
right? So like, yeah, I'm in Texas. I can do all these sites in Texas. You can't.
That's like saying I'm in the U.S.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like
yeah.
you have a site, let's say a site in East Texas, you have one in West
Uh-huh.
Texas. That is an entire day of
Oh,
just
yeah,
one-way
dude.
travel.
Right.
And so that means like if you build in like 90+% uptime in your models, like that's what's a day and a half,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Man.
So
Yeah.
if you're down, like say you go down, because you always go down in the middle of the night.
Mhm.
on-
Oh yeah. No. Always.
On Christmas,
More like
Christmas
terrible
Eve.
weather.
As soon as your head hits the pillow and you go to sleep.
Yeah.
that
That's
is
when it goes
you go
down.
Actually, I
Right.
think it's the exact point you hit REM sleep is when
Yeah. Yeah. It's like when you really
goes
get into
down.
the
There's
good
a
stuff.
pressure sensor in your
Dude.
head, and that
Yeah,
body
I
knows.
swear it is. It is always like that. It never fails. And you're like, okay, God.
It's never 10 o'clock in the morning. You're like, oh, I've got all day to
Yeah.
yeah, sure. So you have to be right out.
Yeah, just finish your morning coffee. I'll go take care of this. No.
Yeah.
So having response time, having systems, like you can do stuff remotely, but like you got to have those systems built in, and you got to have reliable third-party contractors
Right.
that care about your operation. Because
Yeah.
if they don't, maybe they're 2 days away.
Yeah.
I'll get to you when I get to you.
Yeah.
So like all that stuff factors in uptime, and that's a learning curve, but it's also relationship building.
Yeah.
So it takes time. You have to build relationships with these people
Mhm.
to build trust, and they care about your operation.
Are you guys still using like, and I don't know if you did before, but like pumpers and stuff like that for the gen sets, or do you have like more dedicated like Bitcoin folks in the
Both.
field? You do,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we try to be good friends with the gaugers and the pumpers so that,
Mhm.
I mean, if it's a matter of them going in and pressing a button, like,
Right,
like,
right.
I leave, I find out what their favorite drink is, and I leave it just, little offerings sitting on the meter. So that's free. You guys can have that, that little tip.
Little secret sauce.
But like that's the best money well spent
Mhm.
in the oil field, because like you have to make that guy like you enough to like, why do I not hear, like, why is it not loud today? Like, oh, let me call Brian. And, like, get a call from your engager and was like, hey, yeah, can you just go hit the green button?
Mhm.
And that's all he has to do, but he has to care enough
To call you.
to call you
Right.
and be like, can I hit a green button for you?
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the underestimated things. Even for our side, I got a site in Victoria, and finding somebody local, like it's only 2.5 hours away, but that's a long time if you gotta go manually reset a breaker or something, and just it happens randomly. So it's like
Is there
man,
ways
having the guy.
to reset this remotely, like with various control
Some of
systems?
it, but some of it's like a safety issue. Like yeah,
there are definite
You can't.
safety issues. Remote starting generators.
You're not. No one's going to restart generator remotely because you don't know
Oh, it's
what's
on the generator side. I like the one on the
Yeah.
Bitcoin mining side.
Yeah, on the Bitcoin mining side, honestly, like a lot of stuff is built dumb for cost. But
right.
the
Yeah.
smarter you can go, that's going to pay for itself. Like, almost
But even on the on grid side, there's safety kind of mechanisms in place. Certain things happen, like you're gonna go have like if it's the main circuit breaker, you're gonna have to go flip that
You have to
manually.
go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
yeah.
and as dumb as it sounds and as simple as it seems to be, like I'll just find some way to do it. Like it's not. It's harder to find someone to
Well,
go
You
do
just
that.
build like a robot arm that just goes boop and
My
just like
brother was
pushes
talking about this.
the.
Yeah.
Well, because when we had our wells in Oklahoma, we were in Houston, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Wells, we had a
8
pumper out
hours.
there, but he was 82, and he talks like that guy from
Boom hour.
he talks like the guy from Waterboy, like
Yeah.
Marshall Humboldt's naked. Yeah.
Coach O.
Yeah, and he couldn't work his cell phone, and it was just like a nightmare. So like when
You-
stuff went down, we just had to go up there.
You're
It
never
was an
gonna
8-hour
teach that
drive.
guy how to
Yeah,
mine.
never.
Right.
no.
He,
Never,
he gets
right?
on his rotary phone to call
Yeah,
you.
but so many things went wrong. We started talking about, and this is actually a thing now. We're like, oh, what if there was like drones that had like little houses, like a Roomba, it could come out and just like
R.I.P.
survey, because we'd have like the road would wash out, and so like we'd have a tank full of oil and a truck couldn't get up, and so we were like, okay, well, could we like survey that and then use that information to give it to a crew to go out there and like grade it really quickly so that we can sell the oil in the first place. So I've thought a lot about like when stuff's really far from you, what are some like
Well,
easy hack, like you just create a finger, just a finger that just like flips the breaker.
so this is
You got to make it look like a hand.
Yeah, it has to be a hand.
So this is
Yeah.
Colin is Brian's brother, the third co-founder of 10 Net Zero. He was like, I found these robotic arms from a car dealer, like a car manufacturer, for like $800. It's like, could we just program that in and put it inside the unit?
Install it and it has like a camera, and we can just control it to like hit the green button.
Yeah.
And I was
so.
calling that's a retarded idea, but I don't know, maybe
Maybe it's not retarded.
well,
Yeah.
well, his mantra is like, it might be retarded, but if it works, it's not retarded. So like, I don't know. Maybe I need to give him a little more credit.
Yeah.
It's a little brother thing too. So it's
Yeah,
like,
anything your little brother says, instantly retarded.
Automatically, dude. Automatically. It is.
sorry to
Right.
all the youngest brothers out there.
Rory.
Yeah.
Sorry, man.
So what? Now that you guys are
Well-
entering this,
Well, the original question was like, is this a pivot or is this something
Yeah,
else?
yeah.
I was going to say, it's the market telling you that this is the way you need to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, flare gas, everyone thinks off grid, think flare gas mining or a stranded field.
Right.
The reality is the market's telling you flow assurance is where
Yes.
you get scale quickly and
Mhm.
cheaper energy.
Yep.
So now it's capital intensive because they're like, I need 6 megawatts tomorrow. Nobody has Slack resources and off-grid Bitcoin mine. It's all deployed. So it's beachhead market is flare gas or stranded assets, but the market is actually flow assurance. Like we're pipeline cannot get.
You can never
Yeah.
achieve scale on, stranded or disadvantaged
correct.
gas.
Yeah.
It needs to be, off of a pipe or off the tailgate of a plant.
Right.
Yeah. And I think where this market has to go and where hash price is going to force it to go is you're providing a service. The service is flow assurance, and services get paid.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So essentially,
So expand upon that. Let's
Yeah.
double click and say, like, who are the customers for you guys? Is it oil and gas companies?
yeah.
And then what problem are you solving?
So we're finding a lot of deal flow through existing oil field service operators.
Okay.
And they have these relationships that they built to provide other services to these companies, and CNG is just not.
So this can be like,
Mhm.
frac crews, drilling crews, flow back,
Yeah.
well testing.
Correct. Yeah, and
Midstream gas processing.
midstream process. Yeah, like conditioning the gas or and all the products that come off the site in order to make it marketable. And so like a lot of guys that are running like JT skids, right? So they were marketing the LNG.
Yeah.
Good natural gas.
Yeah.
The
Butanes,
liquids. Yeah,
propanes,
butanes,
ethane.
Liquids, yeah.
the liquids. They're marketing the liquids, and then there's also this residue gas that's the best gas you're going to get. Really, that's a minor because it's like been processed
Mhm.
and cleaned. And they just had CNG fall flat on their face over and over and over again, just for operational issues.
Mhm.
And so as part of the package that they're bringing, they're saying, "Hey, do you guys want flow assurance? And you don't have to shut this well in." And so that's what we're seeing.
So explain what flow assurance is to those who don't know.
Okay, so it's not as big a problem in Texas, although I think it's going to it's going to happen eventually, but definitely in states with higher regulatory, more scrutinized regulatory environments. So New Mexico, definitely Colorado, like places like that. They will not allow them to flare, or they're only allowed to flare up to a certain percentage. So if they have however much production they have, they can only flare 10% of their
Right.
production. And so they're kind of on this like
The NOx limits.
Yeah.
Right?
they're
Wyoming's tight on it too.
Yeah, Wyoming,
Yeah,
North Dakota.
North Dakota, the Bakken,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Everywhere other than Texas.
Basically, pretty much, yeah. And so if they're running up against that limit, or if there just is no limit and they just can't flare at all, so New Mexico, they have to shut up the well in. And so,
Which means the flow of oil.
which means they're losing their oil. So really, like, you're just a service that's allowing them like the flow assurance of that oil.
Yeah. And for those who don't know, you're losing your oil because you have gas lifts. On your
Exactly.
wells.
If you
So
can't-
gas is the mechanism
Right.
to lift
Yeah.
the oil in the first phase of recovery.
And if you can't
miss
get
out on the revenue, if you can't flow that, you miss out on the revenue here.
Yeah.
So it's either flare, which you can't in most of these states,
Yeah.
or have another solution, which is what you guys talked about.
Yeah.
exactly, and
And also, the other part of that, so there's the monetary aspect of not getting the oil revenue. You're also taking geological risk every time you shut the well in.
Yep.
And that's a big risk. The money side of like the marketing guys probably don't care as much about that, but the geology side of it are like, we can't be like going on off
Right.
all day, every day.
Yep.
Geology and the
Geologists.
production guys too, right?
Yeah. So
yeah, I was going to say the like just kind of clarify for anyone, like the gas has to go somewhere, otherwise you can't flow the oil, right?
Yeah.
So in Texas, I was actually talking to an operator today, and we were talking about the Waha prices, and like it's great now. So they were getting like $14 yesterday, so they were flowing as much as they possibly could. Well, like when Waha is negative, like they're taking a hit on that gas, and sometimes they can't
Which
get in.
most of the time over the
I would say
last
way
3 or
more-
4 years.
Yeah, so I was like,
way more often than being 14.
so I asked him, I was like, so do you guys just shut in? And he goes, no, we flare. Because that's like, that is the default in a place like Texas. You can get rid of your gas by letting it on fire so you can produce all your but other places you can't. And,
or pay to have your gas taken away.
exactly. Yeah.
So,
Like a
yeah.
compressed natural gas come by like Centaurus or something like that.
We were hearing like negative, like $5 to $7 an M to get it taken away.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've seen it as high as like 850 this year or last year.
Yeah. So you're taking a hit on like that reduces your profit on every barrel. So if clean methane is your problem, Bitcoin is your solution. Like that's exactly what I want. No one else wants it. Give it to me on your site. You know, pay trucking. I'll even give you a little bit for your gas. And it's like a just super win-win, right?
Yeah. So are you guys there just for this phase, or do you guys actually move into the produce gas or long-term residue?
Yeah, like
in the business, the reason this business model is different because every Bitcoin miner ever has been like, I'm going to buy a generator, I'm going to get a 3 or 4 year GPA, I'm going to run it until the gas goes out, and then I'll have ROI at that point, and I'm fine.
And I don't care.
yeah,
But this, like, I only need you for 12 months.
Or like, yeah, like whatever the contract length is, they were like, once that ends, maybe it'll be around, but maybe I'll tell you to fuck up.
Right.
Yeah.
So
America.
the other it's America. We just said retarded, so okay.
I might should have watched that about that.
A few times, actually.
We're back, baby. So that is a fundamental change in typical off-grid Bitcoin mining business models. So your equipment selection is very important. You need to be modular and you need to be movable, right? So that's not putting a containerized cap without wheels, or that's not like it has to be able to move in 12 months at a low cost. Like it costs a lot of money to move these big piece of equipment around, crane days, all this stuff. So like you have to like kind of go back to like your lessons learned. Like what have you learned? Man, small scale, scalable, modular Bitcoin mining operations are going to win.
Yeah.
Yep.
In this space. And one other lesson I want to put in is like, you can make mistakes on a small scale. You can make mistakes on a big scale. So there are like, it's okay to make a couple of mistakes when you're running 100 kilowatts or 200 kilowatts. But if you're doing that at a 5 megawatt site,
Right.
like
It's detrimental. Right.
huge. So like if someone wants to get into this space, like there's lots of opportunity, but like be lean
Right.
and be smart and make your mistakes on a small scale, not on the big scale. Like you can't, like people are like, oh man, I got, $20 million to build
Right.
20 megawatts somewhere. It's like, dude, you're going to fail. Like here's like, I think you're going to fail probably.
Yeah.
Unless you've done this before.
That's the thing, man, is that it's still like, and it's been this way since 2020, man, 2019 even, people thinking that they can just, especially no experience in the oil and gas world, thinking that they can just go out, set up some Bitcoin mining operation on a well, and that they're going to, hit these certain economics, they're going to do all this. And the reality is, it is way more complicated than they realize. And most of the things that make it complicated are outside of their control. Hash price, gas flow,
Risk.
Yeah, well risk, right? All those things. And I've seen so many people try to do it and then get burned by it.
Yeah.
And it ends up, to me, setting the whole industry back somewhat, because a lot of the money that they're taking should be going to other companies like y'all, come from oil and gas space and like have experience in it. Because like honestly, like what you just talked about and what you guys are doing, I know we've talked about this a long time. You guys were talking about it the first time around on the show, and I know that was kind of my thought coming in, was I was always like, this is a midstream solution, right? This is where the like mix of the oil and gas world and Bitcoin mining really makes a lot of sense. Are these temporary operations that could basically bridge them from that weird spot where you might not have pipeline in, whatever it may be. And
The pipeline's coming in 6 months.
right.
Only
Right.
6
But that is
only
the
6
thing.
months
That is
away.
the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they always say that.
Yeah.
And it ends up being a year,
Or
18
2
months.
Oh, and-
Yeah, it's
And
just-
by the way, you need a compressor now because our line pressure is way higher than it was going to.
Right. Right. So there's so many things, but like that's because you guys understand oil and gas and you come from that world. And so yeah, I'm glad to see you guys moving into that, because I do think that's like the real future like integration of it. I think mining all across the board, like we got a 16% hash rate drop coming up, and I know a lot of that's
I was looking at that last night. I was
yeah,
like,
it's
wow.
awesome, dude. I can't wait. So even in all that, it's going to be short lived probably, and a lot of it's due to the freaking arcing blast we had. It's still an indication of like how fast you got all the. I'm gonna transition into AI stuff right now a little bit, but you've got all these big boys shifting and going into basically strictly AI.
Yeah.
I really believe there's
The
going to be
whole,
a hash
last
coming
episode
on.
was about a lot of hash rates going
Right.
to drop off.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. AI is pricing out most on-grid miners,
Yeah.
which I think
And
is
I
why
think the little
this
guys-
conversation is important
Right.
because off-grid has to grow, and there's only been a handful of y'all that have done it.
Right. And
Right.
has survived. Like that
Yeah.
was
Survive is actually
the-
the main thing.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
There's many dead bodies along the way.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
Oh,
So
great
many.
people.
Right.
No,
Right.
no shame.
Mount Everest of off-grid Bitcoin mining.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Dude, there's little dead bodies everywhere, man. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hidden in the crevasses.
Right. I mean, you guys, obviously Giga, Crusoe's done a great job. But upstream, they've stayed more manufacturing side. But like, I knew so many people, man, that were like all over it. And Alfano
Chris
is on,
and
Chris
Sean,
Alfano.
yeah.
But like, there's a lot of ones that have just disappeared,
What?
and a lot of the groups. I can't tell you how many groups I did contracts for.
Yeah.
That I don't know where these people are. They're one of those dead bodies sitting up on
Yeah.
Mount Everest somewhere.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said if you're still in it because like the road was not an easy road. It
No,
was
dude. No.
painful.
Yeah.
So like you had to be a glutton for punishment
Yeah.
and take the risks and want to do it. I think that's the difference.
Yeah.
It's like if you left your job to go do Bitcoin mining, like you were probably without revenue or a salary for a long time.
Right.
Like, can you support that? Like a lot of people could. Like I'm going,
Right.
it's just too hard. I'm going back to my regular job.
Right.
So like
Yeah.
like 360, they've been in it. I can remember the first Empower. It was
Mhm.
like it was us and them and like a couple others. But
Right.
like most people got out. Like Giga was bad. I mean, they had a huge market. Like they're
Mhm.
not doing off grid.
Right, they're not doing off-grid now.
But they're making a ridiculous amount of money. They're
Right.
fantastic. But
Right.
like, the people that are in it, there's no huge names because
Mhm.
Caruso sold to NIDIG.
Right.
I
And
guess,
they're out of it.
right. So I guess NIDIG is technically the
Yeah.
biggest now, but because they
Engon. No.
yeah, and gone.
Right,
So they
right.
did that deal with, and apparently they've been around for a while. I don't really know those guys. I
Mhm.
think they're out of Houston, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they deal with Mara. So like
Right.
they've been like there's a couple of people around, but like scale, like
Yeah.
dude, I don't think anybody off grid has
Well,
more
shoot,
than 50.
I know at one point I had like 56 clients, and most of them were interested in some level of off grid.
Yeah.
I don't know what a lot of them are doing now.
How many actually got to market?
Well, that's the
Oh, like
thing.
that.
I don't know even.
Yeah.
Like I know I was doing
Yeah.
some contracts
Okay.
for them and putting like
Yeah.
GPAs together, things
Yeah.
like that.
I mean, the only new group would be Big Sur Energy. They're coming up.
I saw that.
Put
yeah,
some
yeah.
got some sites going, and
Mhm.
I mean they seem to be growing very well.
Right.
And they're great guys. We've worked with them.
Mhm.
Fantastic people, and they're
But
coming
it's a
up.
small group.
But yeah, I mean they're not like nobody's huge in this
Right,
in the space.
right,
But like
right.
to your point, it's like everyone's going to have to come off grid at some point to do
Mhm.
something, whether it's the AI side or the
Yeah.
Bitcoin miners, and like
Well,
the expertise is just not there.
No.
and these
No.
shoeboxes have to go somewhere.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, I think a lot of them are going to go to a warehouse. If I'm just being
Yeah.
really honest.
Yeah. Oh, the ASIC purchase
yeah,
market.
yeah,
Use ASIC market is going to be. It's flooding, dude.
I think the like you were talking about, like this hash rate is going to come down, hash price is going to go up. I think all those miners are going to other countries like Russia and stuff like that.
Probably.
So like I
Right,
don't.
yeah.
So I'm not super optimistic on if the
Yeah.
whole total network comes down, that price is going to skyrocket because I think
Yeah.
there's so much slack resources out
That's
there.
true.
I think there's also this like geopolitical soft war that's been
Yeah.
gearing up between the U.S. and China, and
Yeah.
I think
I haven't heard about this.
this. I mean, this
China.
Really?
China
China.
ice. Oh, let's not talk about that one. We're talking about the ice Mageddon. It's snowy here. So I mean, this kind of got brought up in Tennessee, just in like the handful of conversations that I had. It
Yeah.
was like, do you want to own Chinese miners versus American miners? And obviously now you've got Auradine, and we love those guys, and it's been amazing. And then now Block's new proto miner,
Yep.
as well. It's like, kind of which camp do you want to be in?
Plenty of the stuff
You
going
know?
on with Bitmain. You know what I mean? There's a
I
lot of
haven't seen any of
there's a
it.
lot of government kind of overview of Bitmain going on right now.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah. Yeah, they're
Well, there was a while where they couldn't get miners in because of
the
some
chip deal, right?
chip deep inside of, I think it was in the PSU. I'm not sure. Like it's a specific component
Right.
that got
This is
flagged.
allegedly, I'm
Like,
like,
yeah.
right. Okay.
Scraping data or something.
No, I don't know anything about that. But there was a very specific component in the Bitmain miners
Right.
that did not, at least to my knowledge, affect West miners, micro BT ones. And I I think that's been fixed or overcome, but there was a non inconsequential period where you could not import them. And
Right.
they didn't come up.
Right. Yeah. So
It just seems like, yeah, you're at risk. Like if you're putting in orders, I mean, tariffs are flying around
Oh,
left and
dude,
right these
yeah.
days, and if
Yeah.
anybody's going to get a tariff on, it's going to be China. So China.
yeah,
Well,
right.
and you don't know, like, okay, you put this order in and the tariff was 25, so you bake that into your model, and then
it's 100 tomorrow.
Yeah.
and there's a lot of, I would say, regulatory uncertainty around what tariff you're going to pay to get that miner in.
Right. Right.
And,
Yeah.
and let's be honest, do you guys feel like it's any less sketchy today ordering massive,
Yes.
large? Is it less sketchy?
I would say as much. I
Okay.
feel way more comfortable.
You should just be like, hey, yeah, just trust me. Just like,
Yeah, oh,
just,
Yeah. It
just
was
wire me 25
scary.
million.
Wire this money.
Guys, you guys want to tell you.
Please, like, we told you one USDT.
Yeah.
You're like, what?
Wait, huh? Yeah.
Like, no. Trust us. You're
Like-
talking to somebody
like-
who's calm.
Where
Yeah,
you?
like a Hello Kitty emoji on their Telegram.
Yeah,
It's like,
right.
who am I actually
It was
communicating?
like, where are you based? Uzbekistan?
Sorry, I
Okay.
only use WeChat. And you're like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get. Yeah, no, I feel like it's much less sketchy. Like you can talk directly. At least it could be that, like, my experience, like I wasn't able to talk directly to the manufacturers and the scale we were working at before, but and so that I could be coloring this, but like you can talk either directly with the manufacturer or like close enough to where
yeah.
you're like, okay, like Bitmain or what's my hair is not in the business of like
Right.
screwing me for like 300 grand.
Right.
So,
Right. Yeah. It feels a lot better.
it
than
does,
did.
it does.
Yeah. Definitely.
One risk I heard about though is maybe What's Miner are going to stop selling miners to the
Really?
public.
I have heard
Really?
yeah.
So they just
why?
become their own private miner and they're like, we'll just take our manufacturing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no different than
do their own
NVIDIA now
chips.
getting into the cloud game, right?
Yeah. So
Really? I
that-
haven't heard that.
but that would increase, like, that would amplify the issue they were talking about. Like, where are you going to get your miners from? It's like,
Right.
well, I'm going to go to Proto or Aerodyne or something like that.
Yeah.
If they're
Man, that's interesting though.
Yeah,
I hadn't heard that. Yeah. Like when did that start popping up?
I heard it a couple times at NIMS.
Oh wow.
I heard it a couple
man.
times at NIMS, and I heard it at least from a reputable joint venture company that works very closely with West Miner
Oh,
about a
okay.
year ago.
Yeah. Wow.
If I was them, I would just do.
But they also just put out the M70,
Yeah.
so
Right.
cut my
Yeah.
prices by 50%, and I own 50% of the hash rate for every machine, and then just non-op it.
I think that's what they would probably try and do is
Mhm.
partner with somebody at scale to
Yeah.
deploy it and do some kind of because the issue that I heard is that the ROIs on miners just getting larger and larger.
Right.
So at some point they're kind of priced out.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
and if you have a low market share like What's Miner does compared to Antminer,
Yeah. If the IRRs get too good, it's like, well, this is too lucrative. We have to do it ourselves versus just sell it.
Well, it was kind of the opposite.
Yeah. It was,
It was
yeah.
they were like,
We're getting pushed out too far.
no one can justify this
All right.
like 600-day
Mhm.
ROI on this
Mm.
machine.
They used to be priced at a year. It was like a year payout.
Yeah.
And now, yeah, it's
That's what I don't know. And maybe you guys know is what do you like for the manufacturing of these things? Like, what is their COGS?
I don't know.
Like,
I've wondered that for a long time.
What is the margin on a West miner or an Ant miner? Like, I don't know.
It depends
seems
on
like
the
it's a
time
black box.
we are in the cycle.
It does
right?
seem that
But,
way, right?
Yeah.
Like they price it on its just kind of cash flow.
Right.
You know, like almost like you
Mhm.
price an oil well. Like,
Mhm.
okay, well, let's price it at 12 months,
Right.
or 36 months,
Right.
so oil and gas asset,
Yeah.
right? So,
I think it's different though,
It's
because a
weird though,
lot of
right?
when you're drilling a well, right, you're buying most of that equipment at the time, the market conditions for what they are at that time, right?
Yeah.
You're probably buying your stuff 2 months out or putting orders in for 2 months out
Yeah.
from where you drill. maybe 3. Whereas when you're building these miners, I feel like they are building them at a certain point in the market, but they're selling them based on what real-time conditions are, right? And so,
You can buy like futures
right,
or like delivery.
right,
And that's the problem I see, Justin,
right,
is that it's like it's assumed you have really good uptime,
right,
right?
right,
It's a super quickly depreciating
right,
asset, and you're assuming I have 95% uptime on this
Yeah.
machine, or like
right.
that's
At a
not
5-cent cost
not
all the
real.
time, right? No, yeah,
So there's like this built-in assumption that's just not accurate with
mhm,
people who are actually buying these miners,
right.
and like either they have to discount it more,
Mhm.
or
Yeah, I think it just goes to a maturing market, dude. It's like
Yeah.
TVs, man. You know what I mean? Look how expensive those were back in the day,
we had
dude.
some people in town from somewhere else, and we went to Sam's to look at TVs, and there was like it was like 60-inch for like 250.
Right,
Yeah.
This would be like $1,000.
right, dude.
Like, but here's like they're disposable.
$100,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
Like, yeah. I mean,
TVs like that used to be like $6,000.
oh yeah,
Oh,
it's
my
like
first-
that's like
Crazy how cheap
$80
they are
now,
now.
dude.
Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy.
My first flat screen, a 40-inch, and we paid like $2,500.
Yeah,
And now
TVs are so cheap. I have so many
I have
TVs in my house that we just don't
85,
use.
yeah.
And I'm just
Yeah.
like, I feel like that was like back in the day when you watched them in the house and they had like a nice TV.
You're
You're
like,
like,
whoa.
oh shit, your dad must be doing great, dude.
Your
You got
dad-
a TV like
got
that
that
and an Xbox.
42-inch
man.
TV.
Now it's just like
Oh.
TV. Like they have screens on like vapes that you just like throw away. Like
Yeah, yeah,
and then you took that Wii controller and threw it right through it, man.
yeah.
right.
What, like,
You
dude,
know, my dad had the
your
gigantic.
allowance money for the next
Yeah.
3 years.
We had a big ass Mitsubishi box TV. It was like a
Yeah.
big. It was the big screen, but it was like the box where the whole bottom was like the sound bar.
It's so heavy.
The,
too.
it was so yeah, it was on rollers. You like
Yeah.
roll it around.
With the glass front end, so all the weight is in like the
And it
front.
falls.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, dude. But that's
That's
how.
the S9.
Right, that's the S9. Yeah.
Had its own like power supply attached to it. It's like so heavy.
Yeah, that is. But that's the way the ASIC market is to me. It's like these should not cost like they overpriced them big time because they could.
Because they could.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And Brian always talks about this is like they were riding a technology curve that
Mhm.
doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
Yes.
Like they went from 9 to 7 to 5 to 3. Now they're at the top of that.
Right. Right.
Yeah. The
Mhm.
miners were like on the chip spacing, were piggybacking off of technology that already existed.
Mhm.
They just couldn't afford to like have it
Jump to 3.
Yeah, just jump to
Right.
3 right away because like it was I don't know I know it's kind of new, I think, but like 5 or 7, they couldn't jump there right away because like it was getting used in your cell phones,
Mhm.
whatever. Now it's not the case. Although we probably are competing with the AI chips. Get those
Probably.
So
Well, where do you think everything's gonna go? Can we talk about like off
Yeah.
grid AI? I know we won't give away any secret sauce or anything,
Well, we don't know anything to give away.
but
It's inevitable. I'll give you my one insight. My one insight is that without talking about too much, when groups are looking to lease colo space, and a lot of these groups have their own GPUs, which is great. They are looking 12 months, 24 months, 36 months at growth, and off-grid is the only place that provides them that.
yeah.
And that is a significant advantage. We've seen that with doing our deal, and you guys will, if you get in the same side, you'll have the same advantage because they can go and get, I mean, even though it's dwindling and they're running out, they can go and get 10 to 20 megawatts on grid at some of these colo spaces if they look hard enough. However, they are capped, and they would much rather have clusters in a single location,
Yeah.
multiple clusters in a single location, than to spread it out all across the US.
Yeah.
And so if you have projected power growth, and the only way you're going to do that is being off grid, you're able to lock in. And now the cool thing is now you have a customer that you can grow with, right? Because this infrastructure shit is very expensive.
Yeah.
But to be able to underwrite it, now you have somebody who says, well, you give me the power, we'll give you the contract. I take that to the bank, we underwrite it on the contract to be able to afford the infrastructure in the first place.
How much money would it fund?
It depends on who you're working with.
That's
But
good.
I would say, are you talking about on the AI group or the bank?
You sign a contract and it's like, okay, go build this.
Upfront money. So that would be called your non-recurring costs, your NRCs versus your MRCs. There's
Professor Jake over here.
like this is like the wild west, and it depends on who you talk
it
to.
is.
So actually,
Which is why Bitcoin miners are so well positioned.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've been dealing with the wild west for forever.
So the way these contracts work is you've got your term, right? So your term is how many years is it going to be? It could be 5, 7, 15 years, whatever. And then the total contract value of that is going to be for us is the colo cost, the lease rate, plus the power rate. So you have like a blended rate, right? And so since everything on the off-grid side is totally greenfield, look at NRCs as like tenant improvement dollars in the real estate world. You know, you go and lease a building, they give you a couple $100,000, a couple million, depending on the size of the building, to go and build it out the way that you want it, right? Well, the NRCs are a bonus in addition to the total contract value, right? So let's just say the contract's $1 million, they pay you in addition to that, and it's upfront money, which helps you run fiber. We have to run a little bit of pipe, other things like that, kind of at the site level, right? And so I've heard 4 different ways to figure it. Oh man, 4 different ways to kind of calculate your NRCs, and we've kind of just took an approach of cutting it right down the middle.
Yeah.
And so one of the metrics is like $500 per kilowatt. One of the metrics is 10% of the total contract value, which is more on the rich side. Another metric is $1 million per megawatt, which is kind of a little bit more on the richer side. So it's a little bit higher than the 500 kilowatt. And then on the low side, 3 to 6 times your MRCs, your monthly recurring cost, right? So it's everybody kind of gets there in totally different directions. So it really, the way that we get to it is like, what number is it meaningful to make an impact for our economics, but also make us competitive enough to be able to get the deal? And I think that they're less, I could be totally wrong, but I think they're less sensitive to considering the size of the contract, of what the NRCs are going to be. So we shot low, considering this is our first site, but as we're going to go to the higher end as we go on.
Yeah.
Just because it's needed. There's just a lot of cost at the site level.
Yeah.
You know, it's millions of dollars in pipe. It's millions of dollars in fiber.
Yep.
Even being close to the trunk line, because you have to run 2 redundant lines. That means you're literally having crews out there digging or physically running fiber, and you need it done pretty quickly.
And for gas deals that big, it's millions of dollars of collateral.
Yes.
And that's another one. Man, this is like,
well, that's like the power.
Right. It's the same thing that was the problem in Bitcoin. Like, honestly, this is like Bitcoin scale times 20 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it's the same thing.
You want to?
I want to do an off-grid data center. You know, I'll put this together. And it's like, dude, do you understand at all what you're talking about?
Yeah.
There's so many of these.
I was talking with the professional power guys for forever. It's like, okay, well, if you go and you say you want 20 megawatts, like they're going to want
2 million at least.
They're going to want just 2, 3, 5, 6 months.
Right.
You're not creditworthy up front, just sitting in a bank account.
Right.
And that's going to be not returning anything for you guys. But it's just to make this deal, make them even want to talk to you and think you're serious.
Creditworthiness is a big problem all around.
Yes.
Right. I mean, just because we use so much debt to do our deal.
This. I'll have to tell you guys about later.
You've got to have, it can't be like Joe Blow's, AI company who's like buying GPUs. It needs to be.
Look at that terrible deal, right? So it was backed by Google.
Yeah. It has to be.
Has to be. I assume it has to be.
Yeah.
Like, that's how you get a deal like that done.
Right. And that causes another chicken or egg issue that we always had in the Bitcoin world too. Is like, you got to get a deal to get this collateral or this backing, this creditworthiness.
Banks are worried about the AI bubble, and they're worried about it busting, and they're worried about who's holding the bag when it's done.
Yeah.
Right. So whether it's fun or whether it's reality, it's probably somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
They're very apprehensive.
It's like every other bubble, quote unquote. Like there's some amount of realness there. I mean, the .com bubble, like
it's real, but look what
the internet didn't happen. Like the internet is super like crazy important. It has created trillions of dollars of value. But
the difference I think between a bubble like this and like I call it the .com bubble is that, and it is more like the railroad. So much money went in and then it busted, but there was hard infrastructure.
Right.
Kind of like shale. I mean, we torched $200 billion. I mean, this is at a totally different scale, but what do we get on the other side of that? cheap and abundant energy.
That's if there is a bubble and it does bust, it leaves behind all this power infrastructure.
Yeah.
which somebody will.
Yeah,
Take
that's
advantage
not
of
going
it.
anywhere.
So
Well, and my thesis from different from the Bitcoin thesis, but like thesis on off grid whatever, fill in blank, off grid power generation is in 5 years, whatever time period you pick, like whenever you start, like 5 years from today or 5 years from 5 years ago, are we going to need more energy than we need today? And
right. The answer is yes.
100% is yes.
Right.
100% is yes.
Yeah.
Like unless some crazy black swan, in which case none of this matters anyway.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing is you're making a gamble that if we're wrong, we got bigger problems anyway.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter.
Yeah, if the AO bubble bust, we have massive issues.
Right. Well, if there's a situation where we're not needing more
We're
power,
not needing more
future,
power.
Yeah,
something
that's also a
bad is
huge
going
issue. There's
right.
been a
I hope I have that ranch in Wyoming.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Let's go for the
Right. Yeah. No kidding.
Back to the
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
In which case, I am gonna have a really nice power generation equipment.
right. Yeah.
I'm gonna have a nice Mesa 450.
That's true, man. I mean,
Well,
yeah.
to your point though, it's like in the railroad when that busted, it was the big money that was in that lost all the money, and then whoever came in second gobbled it up for pennies on the dollar and paid all the money. So I can see why it begged, like, I don't want to be the guy bad.
yeah.
So
Let's dive into what we talked about before we started recording as well. So just on the AI side,
Yeah, no.
not all,
Whoa,
maybe not all of
whoa.
it, but the
I'm kidding.
there's a in the AI space, very similar to Bitcoin mining, right? You're self mining versus hosting, whereas in the AI space, you've got colo, where it's all the way up to the energized rack space, right? And you have that infrastructure, and then there's the question of like who owns the GPUs, right? So the business models are fundamentally different, right? So if you own the GPUs, you make your money through dollars per GPU hour, right?
Yep.
And then you monetize that 2 different ways. The best way is to lock in a long-term contract at 3-4 years, which is long in that space. And then you get paid your, kind of flat rate, 3% escalator. If you're not, which a lot aren't, you're running at spot. And the problem with that, it's like the equivalent of if Bitmain dropped a new ASIC every 6 months that was like twice as good as the last generation. That's what NVIDIA is doing, but like to the nth degree. Yeah. So do you really want to be holding the bag on GPUs when new generations are being released every 6 months and the architecture is completely changing?
Yeah.
That's what we said as well. It's like, let's just own all the way up to the energized rack, not have the exposure to that, not worry about spot prices.
Well, also
in a long-term
staying
contract.
in your sandbox, dude. You know what I mean? Like,
It's a totally different. Yeah.
There's also a risk to that though on the infrastructure on rack sizing.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
what you were talking about the form, right?
Yeah, well, that's what they're talking about. Like with the proto miner, it's like you're confined. Like you actually have to start at the size of the miner, like the shoebox, and then you build around that shoebox. The same thing is going to happen.
So the proto miner it's like 2 traditional miners next to each other, led in a certain direction, because like each proto miner is like 112 pounds.
What?
Yeah, it's heavy. So it's like 2 rolled
I
up
thought
into
the
one.
63s were freaking.
And you can
heavy.
use all the same racks.
So that's
The 60.
Yeah.
The 63 is putting those in and
Dude.
yourself is not fun at all.
No.
almost 50 pounds. You do like
Yeah. 22, 24 kilos, something like that.
Yeah.
But then once you get the water in them,
Yeah, that's heavy. Right. Yeah, they're heavy, man. I've been doing those. We try to rack most of our own stuff, and it's like, golly, that's a good workout. Especially you start getting that top rack. You know what I mean?
or the bottom one. And
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Looking at cord.
Right.
Somebody needs
The
like
ring
a
core.
dolly system where you just like suction cup them and then just,
Well,
and then unhook them.
glass for your.
Well, in the off grid ones,
Yeah.
though, the aisles. I mean, it's not super skinny, but it's not
Wide either.
It's not super wide. Yeah. So in those
We've seen
containers.
some bad designs of containers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine. I mean,
Inside.
That's the worst.
yeah. That's what I was going to say. Like, I guess you probably don't want to talk about who's the worst. Who's the best? You don't want to hurt anybody's feelings either. Oh, man.
Well, dude, I've never actually run a Gigabox
Yeah.
full side. I've seen some of their old stuff.
Mhm.
I've seen like it seems pretty spacey in there. Kind of like that part of it.
Yeah.
The one airflow or single airflow is really nice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like single directional.
Yeah. I mean, it it keeps the cold side cold, right? Yeah, you don't have to worry
it's
about
just you have space. You're not like
Yeah.
like
Right.
working around like this.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of times how to monitor, you're constrained by what's your building footprint. Are you using a container? Because then you only have 18.
Right.
But if you're doing like Steve does basically stick build, so he has a 10-foot wide footprint, so it makes it a bit easier.
Yeah.
But even like sometimes like your PDU design is fundamental. Like you can have bad airflow because your PDU's like kind of sticky.
Kind of, sticks out.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Creates a hot spot.
Yeah.
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 So yeah, I mean, it's evolved a lot in the last three years.
Yeah.
Just like go buy a fan and put it in a shipping container.
Yeah.
To like purpose-built smart PDUs, ergonomics.
I was out at a site not too long ago in San Antonio, and the dude had a J Energy container. It's like, oh man, what a throwback, dude! Yeah, yeah. I was like, yeah, it was. I was like, wow, man, I can't believe that thing beyond itself. It's good.
Well, that's an interesting point. Like when you're building out, like, okay, well, we're going to spend X amount on the site, and it's got an ROI in 24 months or 36 months, whatever. And I'm throwing out a problem here, not even a solution. Like, especially with once you're counting these generators, it's like, well, what is the useful life of them? And I don't have a great answer. I mean, you're talking about these containers, right? Like, could you go in and revamp that? And like, how much would you pay to revamp it versus
your PDU is probably the biggest thing to address.
I meant how much wiring you can do for
Yeah, electrical wire. That's another lesson learned. Like electrical wire costs. If like
like how far apart is your generator from your
site layout?
Yeah,
what's that going to look like?
Yeah, right.
And then
and what your breakers look like, because you're like, I don't know how deep in the woods we want to get here, but
that's all.
You could get charged double in wire that you don't need, only because the electrician will not wire in a different way because they have to go off of like whatever the two ends are. They have to go off the biggest breaker. So if you're going from a big one to 4 little ones, well, why couldn't you just wire like the amount of electricity that's going to be used on the little ones? No, doesn't matter. You have to wire all the wire that the big breaker can take, because you're assuming it's going to fail and send all that electricity to the little one.
So now you're running four runs of 3-phase electrical, and instead of just one.
Yeah.
And
see, this is all stuff because you guys been in it a while, dude. You know what I mean? It's survivors,
like,
dude.
You ran your economics off of, I don't know, 200 foot of 444, and now you need 800 feet, and you got to go back and say, please, sir.
Yeah.
I need to have some more. Please. Like, well, why do we need money? It's like, well, because electrical wire.
Yeah. But dude, like honestly, seeing you guys, having you back after freaking 3 years or whatever, I don't know. It's nice. Like I was thinking about this not too long ago.
My number, Justin?
It had something to do with those websites you were telling me about.
All the meat spins and lemon parties.
But
don't worry, we'll pay you.
Yeah.
The check's in the mail.
Checks in the mail. I forgot about that. But I like it. I was thinking about this not too long ago about just the fact that, like, how long I've known you, and it's been a while, dude.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, and you guys and like the people, mainly New Wave. Right? How long ago was that?
I found a video. I was looking for another video. I found like
I know. That's where I met you.
New Wave was
that was the one in
Horseshoe Bay.
Horseshoe Bay. That's
Horseshoe Bay.
That's where I met you. Right. That's where we met.
Because we didn't know each other. We got paired up.
You, Brian?
We got paired up on the
who knows?
The golf game. And then you and I were just so happened to be playing golf the next day too.
Yeah. Right.
And then this was all pre-Empower.
Yeah. But it was like, man, dude, we've all been in this now a while, and like things have changed for me, right? I'm doing a different kind of
transition.
I'm transitioning. I transitioned. But I'm doing basically the same thing, but not, in a mining company. I guess Emory, we're doing a lot of different deals, but but it's different. It's shifted. But I've been able to stick it out. Like I left a traditional oil and gas job to do this stuff, and I've been able to stay in it. And we're talking about how many people have kind of fallen off, but you guys have made it.
There's been a lot of people that have exited the scene or.
Well, I think that's one thing that newcomers discount is this is not a large space.
No.
And
It's very
everybody
small.
knows everybody. Like you go to NIMS and like
It's like all dudes,
you either like are hugging the guy or there wasn't really anybody there actually. I should asterisk this. There wasn't anyone there that was like this, but at other conference it's like, oh well, nah,
Yeah, right.
not
right.
that person.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Nashville one's great. Dude.
Yeah.
I wanted to go.
Or high signal.
Very
Yeah,
high signal. Yeah. I almost don't even want to talk about it too much.
I know.
We shouldn't let anybody know. It's kind of an
Yeah, I
inside
know.
secret.
But newcomers to the space are not aware of how small it is, and everyone knows everyone, and your reputation it matters a lot.
Right. It does. And I don't know. It's nice to see. And it's always like, man, because I felt such a strong calling to get into it, and I'm going to get all spiritual. But I felt like God wanted me to do something different. And then, jumping into this kind of stuff, it was like a lot of people tell me how dumb it was and all that. But it's nice to see like other people that have probably felt some of the same calling to go do something different. And it's nerve wracking.
Yeah.
But it's like, man, dude, okay. Like, I mean, it's nice to see like not people sticking around that have been in it for a while.
When I was back to the drawing board on like what is the next chapter, my life has changed and all, but I wrote the first thing I wrote was Bitcoin was the first thing that I wrote down, and then everything else was like secondary. It was like, well, what do I want to do more of?
Bitcoin family.
Just do more of it. Then family's like, wait, hang on.
But yeah, man. I mean, but it's also a testament to like people who have the experience now and like the know-how, and you can't replace experience and going through the trials and the testing stuff out and seeing the way things have shaken out. And I think what we're starting to see is people like you guys and us, and like I've in my own little area of the space that I work in, which basically putting deals together, starting to have things come to me and like reaping the rewards of having, number one, taking the step, but number two, which might even be harder, is sticking with it through the ugly times.
Yeah, that's like kind of what we're like talking about is like we've made a bunch of mistakes,
Right.
but we always say we're going to do what we want to do. Like you look after people before, like to our detriment a lot of time, because like if you want to be in this business, you got to have your name, your word.
Right.
Like that's like that's what's going to carry you. See, the momentum of your name is going to actually carry you through. Like you say, at least you don't screw people over.
Right.
You don't get out early to like avoid a loss or something like that. Like
Yeah. What was it from John Wick? Excommunicado or something like that?
And I haven't.
you seen John?
I've seen like parts of the first
One of
one.
the best movies.
I know, dude. I know.
I haven't seen Star Wars.
What? For real? That's even worse than John Wick, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, just from
Yeah.
you really sure you haven't seen it? Get out.
I've seen parts of it.
You're here to talk about your reputation, Joel, and you haven't even seen Star Wars.
Right, man. Well, I take everything back.
Excommunicado.
Yeah,
You're voted
John
out.
Wick said.
Yeah.
Should we talk about the? There's some interesting news going on. Want to dive into it real quick?
Which
I was
one?
very into that.
It's
Who wants to
like
take
an
lead on that?
episode of Secession.
It is.
What are we talking about?
Succession.
Oh, yeah.
In the
That's
Bitcoin
right.
mining space.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love a good hustle?
Honestly, it's out of this should be in the movie.
Yeah. Hash and the Furious.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
Austin
is furious.
over
Will be
there.
Mawson.
Yeah. They're very
Well,
furious.
they are not happy. It doesn't seem based on press releases.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not
It's been crazy watching from the outside.
Yeah.
really.
yeah.
So our buddies at Big Digital Energy have kind of started to lead. It started off as friendly. Let's just level set. It was
The
friendly.
Endeavor Group.
Yes.
Like an opportunity
Yeah.
to try to help them out.
Yeah. So they, and then Mawson was, but Mawson's had a very tumultuous history with multiple CEOs that have been a lot of shady things that happened. Not saying anything necessarily with the new group.
I will just say I did a couple deals with them. And
Justin
I had
was
no
part of the
problem.
shadiness.
I was not part of the shadiness. I had nothing to do with it other than putting a deal together, selling it to them, and then when they were, then they engaged me to sell the deal for them.
Yeah.
But it was mainly because
you're
I
on
like
both sides of it.
Yeah.
Or-
So I sold the deal to them. I put the deal together.
Yeah.
It was West Texas, 120 megawatts. Sold the deal to them. And then they later subsequently engaged me to sell that deal.
Yeah.
Mainly it was a really complicated one. And so I think
Yeah.
in order to get through it,
Yeah.
they had me just basically handle that. So
Yeah.
yeah, but other than that, my
Yeah.
interactions with them are limited.
But Mawson's share price is just absolutely cratered. Their market cap is just an absolute sliver.
They
of what
were
it
at
used to
one
be.
point 21. They were November of 21. They were over $1 billion market cap.
Really?
Where are they?
Wow.
But
I
context,
thought it was
they
went
like
down-
15 right
I was
now.
gonna say went down to like 15 million.
I thought it was like 500 million. Was
Over $1 billion.
wow.
I didn't want to say it was like 1.1
Yeah.
billion or something like that.
Yeah. So yeah, Endeavor Group comes in, buys up a whole lot of shares, gets the other shareholders on board,
Mhm.
forces, the management team out. The infrastructure that Mawson owns is significantly more valuable than the market cap of the company. And that was proven by a sale that they made recently. They sold for like $45, $50 million, which is like 3 or 4 times the market cap of the entire company.
Yeah.
Right. And so, they just need a good operator, and I'm super excited to see what they do with it.
And based on the letter that they sent, which is what I'm basing this on, it seems like having people who aren't intimately familiar with the workings of the space running the company has been detrimental.
It's a team full of lawyers. Could you imagine like 6 of these guys?
You want to talk about value destruction?
I know.
Just
Yeah.
let lawyers run some
It'd be
stuff.
terrible, wouldn't it?
Talk about a bear market, right?
Ah.
Ooh.
Get it, man.
I know.
I forgot how punny he is, right?
So it'll be exciting. They got some big ambitions, and I love it. And I'm here for who doesn't love
Well, I
a good
think the-
takeover?
Yeah.
The big thing is the group behind it know what they're doing.
Oh yeah,
Like
Yeah.
they run this, they do it, and
Phil, Josh, Cody, these guys.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys know them. We know them. They're going to come in and absolutely crush this and knock it out of the park. So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
very bullish on Mawson post takeover.
Yeah.
it's not financial advice.
Not financial advice, and past performance is not indicative of future return.
Yeah.
Whatsoever.
Well, you would hope that
We
past
just
performance
want-
would
Yeah.
not be indicative of
It
future
can't-
returns.
It can't go much worse.
Yeah.
It can't go down. So
Look at that.
oh wow, yeah, you're right. It was over $1 billion
One-
multiple times.
Right. Yeah.
That's insane.
Wow.
Yeah.
Isn't
So
that
to go from
wild?
over $1 billion to
To
15 million.
15 million.
What is
Well,
that?
I mean, that's what happens when you lever up
Mhm.
and you have debt coming due and there's not a good plan on how to pay. Like, that's obviously going to get reflected in your share price, regardless of what your revenue is.
I will say some of the
think like one and a-
coolest people that I've known that I really like. Liam, he's over at Bitfarms now. Craig Hibbert, he's at Bitfarms now.
Matt's over
Great
at
dudes.
Bit Farms too.
Lusto?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he just
awesome.
went. Yeah, good dude. But I'm saying from those old Mawson dudes,
Okay.
some of them were great guys, man.
Yeah.
Like really good dudes. I just always enjoyed working with them a lot. Liam Wilson, and he was actually one of the first people I ever met in Bitcoin. And Craig Hibbard, Australian dudes,
No, I mean
super cool to hang out with.
Aussies, the Commonwealth. You gotta love them.
Gotta love them, man.
Yes.
But yeah, they're good dudes and very, very good at what they do. But
Well, better than whoever these other jokers are.
it's
I
been a
guess.
freaking, that place is a
Yeah.
mess, man. So
All right.
dude,